So the Detroit Pistons just exposed the Los Angeles Lakers. Now the real question becomes, how did the Pistons expose them and how can we fix it? Let's talk about it. Before we get started, if you guys can do me a huge favor and drop a like on the video and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future Lakers and other sports content. Now, before we even get started with recapping the game, talking about the current state of the Lakers and what the future holds for the Lakers, before we even get into that, we got to talk about Malik Beasley, bro. I mean, real talk. Who does this cat think he is? He goes on a heater. He had a good game. I'm not going to front. He had a decent game. He went on a little heater. He scored 21 points. I mean, that should provide enough context right there. Malik Beasley going on a heater is him scoring 20 points. But anyway, I felt this dude's energy from the start of the game, from my own living room. Like, I could see it on the court. He just was bringing some weird energy to the Lakers. He was staring down AD. He was talking smack. And it's like, yo, what are we doing right now? He got hot from three. He started hitting a few threes. And this cat just started literally twerking on the court. And it's like, dog, I get it. The lights were too bright for you in LA, bro. But the thing is, you're never going to be able to outlive that. At the end of the day, you had your opportunity to shine for the Lakers. And the lights were just too bright. The sooner you can acknowledge that and get over that, the better, bro. Like, I don't know what type of energy you was bringing last night or what you think you was doing, but you got shipped out of LA, got sent off to Milwaukee. Then you got shipped out of Milwaukee. Now you're in Detroit. So then you're going to come into LA, hit a few shots, and then start talking smack. And, yo, I don't know, man. His energy was off. So I just had to acknowledge that, bro. He had his chance in LA. He blew it. It's time for you to move on, dog. Anyway, enough about Malik Beasley. We're giving him too much shine right now. Let's talk about what happened in the actual game. So big picture, turnovers. That's ultimately what did us in for this particular game. With a young, athletic team like the Detroit Pistons, you can't keep turning the ball over. Their offense in transition is just, it's too much. You turn the ball over, 1-2 pass, they're already dunking at the rim. That's just how quick, how fast they just move up the court, and they can really, really take advantage of your mistakes. I mean, at the end of the day, we had 20 turnovers for that game to their 12, which led to 24 fast break points for the Pistons. It's going to be very difficult to win in the NBA against any team when you're turning the ball over like that, but especially against, again, a young athletic team like the Detroit Pistons. And just real quick, a lot of people are saying that the Pistons are a bad team, and I don't know where this is coming from. I understand their record is under 500, but they're not a bad team. They may not be a good team, but they're certainly not a bad team. They have some young pieces there, and they have some good players. They're just starting to come into their own, that's all. But they're not a bad team. However, I will say that this is a team that the Lakers should definitely be beating, especially if we're going to have anything anywhere close to a legitimate playoff run or even championship aspirations. We shouldn't be losing these games. But again, it's hard to win any game when you're turning the ball over 20 times and allowing for 24 fast break points. Now, I do want to give a shout out to Max Christie, because with him being inserted into the starting lineup, I think he's done really well. I think he's been able to elevate the defensive play on the perimeter. And even looking at the Detroit game, he's knocking down some shots. He was able to put up 17 points that game. When he first started in the lineup, it was, hey, listen, your assignment is John Morant, De'Aaron Fox, in this case, Cade Cunningham. But producing 17 points while guarding the other team's best perimeter player, you got to give Max Christie his credit, man. I'm very proud of him. And depending on what trades that we make in the market, which we will touch on later in the video, by the way, I don't know if Max Christie is going to be able to maintain his starting position at the two spot, especially if the front office is going to make moves that I think that they should make, which let's be honest, they're probably not going to. But that being said, man, Max Christie, we got to give him his flowers. He's done an excellent job. He's still a young player. He's still learning, but he's done a tremendous job in the starting lineup. And of course, LeBron James. LeBron James was clearly the best player on the floor last night. The man finished with 28 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists. He went 6 of 7 from the free throw line, 2 of 4 from 3, 10 of 16 from the field, just super efficient on all levels. And he only had 2 turnovers that game. But of course, the headlines all over media is, oh, LeBron James missed the game tying 3. And it's like, yo, that's just so typical. You know what I mean? It is so typical of LeBron haters, bro. This man damn near had a 30-point triple-double, and all they think about is, oh, well, he missed a game-tying 3. It was a 35-footer, at the buzzer. Anyway, LeBron James, like I said, was clearly the best player on the floor last night, and that has a lot to do with some of the problems that the Lakers have. I've expressed this numerous times in my previous videos. We cannot, if we're going to compete for a championship, we cannot rely on a 40-year-old LeBron James to be our closer in every close game. We just can't do it. I mean, Anthony Davis was supposed to be that guy. We all know that. And he has his moments. He has the times where he's just playing at an otherworldly level on both ends of the court. But he's also disappeared, primarily on the offensive end too. Last night was a perfect example. He had 19 points, but it was a very quiet 19 points. I mean, he made 7 out of 14 shots, which is 50%. I mean, that's pretty efficient, but it also wasn't very aggressive. It wasn't like AD was like, hey, give me the ball, get out the way. I'm looking for my shot. I'm looking to play bully ball. That's the talent that he does have. But I think it's about time that we just accept Anthony Davis for who he is. And that is an incredible talent, but he just doesn't have a very high motor. At least at the offensive end. He's going to have his nights. He's that talented. He's going to have his nights where he goes for, 40, 45, 50 points, just going off, 30 plus. But he definitely hangs his hat on the defensive end for sure. And that kind of leads into my next point, which is you have your 2 best players. One is a 40-year-old LeBron James. The other is a talented but primarily defensive player in Anthony Davis, who will still give you your 20-ish, 25 points. And every once in a while, you're going to get the explosion of that 40 to 50. So what does that tell me? That tells me we need a third consistent scoring option, which we do not have right now. I think not only the coaching staff, but I think the front office had this idea that Austin Reeves would be that third option. But yeah, he's just not it. I'm sorry. I like Austin Reeves. I really do. And I'm actually going to make a video on Austin Reeves too. I have a hot take on Austin Reeves that I haven't really heard anybody else talk about. So if you want me to drop that video, let me know in the comment section. But Austin Reeves, he's just not, we can't rely on him to be our third option. And if LeBron or AD are on the bench getting rest, we definitely can't rely on him to be that second scoring option. So this is why I always advocate for Zach LaVine. Do you think we would have lost that game last night if we had Zach LaVine? Hell no. You think LeBron would have to be responsible for 19 of the 22 points that were scored in the fourth quarter if we had Zach LaVine? Hell no. Zach LaVine is an elite shooter, an elite scorer. He's super athletic. He's an underrated playmaker. And he doesn't need a set offense to get off. He can create his own offense, which is exactly what we need. And by the way, before I wrap this video up, those athletic, physical guards that gave us so much trouble last night? Yeah, they played the Bulls once this season. Zach LaVine dropped 25 points, shot 50% from 3, hit 7 threes, and scored 14 points in that fourth quarter to close them out. So just thought I'd leave that little gem with you guys. With that being said, our next game is on Christmas. There's actually a huge lineup on Christmas Day. We love Christmas basketball. The Lakers play the Warriors, so hopefully we'll have a much different result. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I genuinely appreciate your support. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next video. Merry Christmas, guys. Happy holidays.